I get traders asking me all the time, Ross, I'm an international trader. I'm not a US resident. What is the best broker for me to use for day trading the US equities market? All right, so my job is always to help you guys find the best tools for you. I'm going to share with you what I think are the best brokers for international traders. Reminder, I don't have any affiliate relationship with any of these brokers. So sign up if you want, don't sign up if you don't. Doesn't make any difference to me. I'm just sharing with you the tools that I would use, and I'm going to break them down in a little bit more detail. The first question is, are you long bias or short bias? The next question is, do you have more than $25,000? Depending on the answers to these questions, we're going to be talking about the following brokers: CMEG, Charles Schwab, Tradezero, Interactive Brokers. Let's get into it. So we're going to go through this list broker by broker. The first one is Charles Schwab. Now, as you may know, they recently acquired TD Ameritrade. So all TD Ameritrade customers have moved and are in the process of moving in underneath the Charles Schwab umbrella. But the nice thing is that Charles Schwab has said they'll continue to allow traders to use the Thinkorswim platform, which was owned by TD Ameritrade. So at this point, traders who want to use that Thinkorswim platform are going to have to sign up to Charles Schwab. You can't sign up to TD Ameritrade anymore. So Charles Schwab does accept international traders, in addition, of course, to US traders. They are a free commission broker, which is fantastic, unless you're trading options. You do pay for option pricing, but for just regular stock, it's free commission. There are no platform fees, even for the real-time data. They just absorb the cost, at least as of right now, which makes it a really competitive offering. Honestly, they're really fantastic. But there's one problem. They're a US broker-dealer, which means they enforce the $25,000 PDT minimum. And I guess the second issue is that they don't cater really at all to short sellers. They don't have a great inventory of shares available to borrow. So for a long bias international trader with an account above $25,000, Charles Schwab using the Thinkorswim platform is great. Now, for the international trader who is below $25,000, Charles Schwab's not going to work. So that brings us to our next broker on the list, and that is CMEG, Capital Markets Elite Group, located in the Cayman Islands. They have a minimum account size of $500. They have monthly platform fees, so more expensive. They also charge commissions. The commission is $2.99 per execution, with a maximum per trade of $12.99. That's definitely a lot more expensive than Charles Schwab, and I guess that's what you pay for being able to trade below the PDT level. Now, CMEG is nice, and a lot of traders really do like them, but it's worth noting that they do restrict leverage. So with Charles Schwab, you get 4 times leverage. You set up the account with $25,000, you can buy $100,000 worth of stock. CMEG, being an international broker, they allow 6 times leverage. They don't enforce the PDT rule, but they restrict margin and the use of leverage on a lot of stocks. So you might see a stock that you like, and then you can't use any of your leverage. You can only use your cash balance. So realistically, because of the platform fees, the commissions, and the fact that you can't always trade on leverage, even though the account minimum is $500, you're probably still going to be better off with $2,000 or $3,000 in that account. CMEG has a better inventory of shares available to borrow than Charles Schwab on the Thinkorswim platform, but they don't really cater to short sellers, so it may not be the best platform for short sellers, but it's also not bad. For international short sellers who are below $25,000, the real broker that you want to look at is Tradezero. So the third broker we're going to talk about is Tradezero. They're located in the Bahamas, and they are a broker that really do cater both to international traders and to short sellers. They have a great inventory of shares that you can borrow, which is fantastic. Their borrowing fees are competitive. It's not always cheap, but it's competitive. And they do not enforce the $25,000 PDT minimum on an international trader. They have a sister company in the US that is for traders above 25,000. And then they have the international branch of their company that is for international traders that are under 25,000. So Tradezero is a popular broker for short sellers. And when it comes to fees and commissions, if you use limit orders, you'll have no fees and commissions, which is really nice. So it's free trading if you use not just a limit order, but if it's a non-marketable order. So that means if you want to buy a stock, you buy at the bid and wait for someone to sell you shares. Or when you sell on the ask and wait for someone to buy you shares. When you trade like that, you're adding liquidity to the market. Tradezero receives a rebate for that and is in exchange able to give you free commissions, which is nice. So Tradezero is a popular platform. I have heard some traders say they don't like the actual interface of the trading software that Tradezero uses compared with CMEG or Charles Schwab using the Thinkorswim platform. But you can always check out their website and do a demo of it and see whether or not it's a good fit for you. Now, the fourth broker on the list is Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers is one of the largest brokers in the world. They cater to international traders. They also let you trade international markets. Some of these brokers only let you trade the US market, which is great because, of course, that's what I'm trading and that's what a lot of you will be trading. But if you want to trade perhaps a different market in Europe or in Asia, you actually could do that with Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers being a US broker-dealer, you're going to deal with a $25,000 minimum, 4 times leverage, but they also have pretty good availability of shares to borrow. So, and a lot of people really like their platform and they're a free commission broker. So there are a lot of upsides to Interactive Brokers, but if I was going to line them up next to Charles Schwab, both of them requiring a $25,000 minimum, I would say Charles Schwab is better. I like their platform better and the execution speed is pretty good. But if you were sort of, trying to do the coin toss, Interactive Brokers has better availability of shares to borrow. So they're going to be on the list of better brokers for short sellers. Other brokers that are really popular among short sellers, but that do enforce the $25,000 minimum include Centerpoint, Cobra, and Guardian. Those are popular brokers. You'd have to look at each of their websites to see which international countries they will accept clients from. They're not nearly as big as Charles Schwab or Interactive Brokers, but they're more boutique brokers that really cater to short sellers. What I found in my experience is that most international traders end up with either Tradezero or CMEG because both of them allow you to trade the US market with less than the $25,000 minimum.